Happy Wednesday out there, Team 42. It's your skipper here, Darius to present our macro minute for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Liberation Day in America and across the global economy. So we got that at 4 p.m. today. So I'm obviously fired up. But as always, we'll start with the executive summary from today's leadoff morning note. If you would like to review the analysis supporting these conclusions and to see what changes you need to make, if any, to remain on the right side of market risk, you need to be a client of 42 Macro. So today's key macro question is, will Liberation Day make America wealthy again at the expense of global Wall Street? Our answers are President Donald Trump is set to unveil sweeping new reciprocal tariffs at 4 p.m. Eastern in the Rose Garden event on Wednesday that he dubbed Make America Wealthy Again celebration, as this team races to finalize both the size and scope of the levies. Several proposals remain on the table, including a two-tiered system that will levy 10 to 20% tariffs on imports based on cumulative trade barriers to U.S. goods, as well as a more customized reciprocal plan tailored to individual nations' trade practices. A flat 20% global tariff remains on the table as well. For sources close to the deliberations, the final framework remains undecided just hours before the announcement. The potential tariffs, which could apply even to countries without a trade imbalance, are expected to be among the largest in U.S. history, with Trump aiming to raise $700 billion annually in revenue, according to Peter Navarro, White House Trade and Manufacturing Czar. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told lawmakers that the tariff levels would represent a ceiling, with countries able to lower them through negotiation. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that the levies would take place immediately. With markets bracing for Trump's reveal, the Bloomberg Economics Global Trade Policy Uncertainty Index hit a record high in March as anticipation around Liberation Day stoked investor confusion. Bloomberg Economics estimates the spike in trade uncertainty will reduce U.S. industrial production by 1.1% and global industrial production by 1.7% by Q2 of next year relative to baseline. That draconian outcome is not adequately factored into consensus sales, earnings, or GDP estimates. Transitioning to our 42 Macro dashboard, as always, we'll wrap up with a question from our community. This one's regarding, says dumb question is the title. By the way, there are no dumb questions in our community. This is a community that is built upon the ethos that, I provide with my leadership of, treating people with kindness and respect and dignity. And ultimately, this sort of egalitarian drive to educate the community and the masses broadly. So phenomenal. I can't think of a better place on the internet to hang out and learn investing, learn global macro, and just generally learn how to become better people. So really, really grateful for our community here. So getting back to this dumb question that's not dumb. So this evening, so I'm just reading it verbatim, obviously. So this evening, I invited my neighbor, newly retired, to watch the Around the Horn video with me. Now I trade far more than he does, and he was very impressed with the Around the Horn video. Thank you. Says that at the end, he had one question. As he's starting to withdraw from his investments, does he follow KISS or some type of delay? I thought it was a great question, so I'm throwing this out there. First, what should I tell him? Second, how should we view KISS with respect to compounding versus withdrawing? I use this info as a tool, but would like to help him understand it better. Maybe us all. Anyhow, I hope this finds everyone doing great, doing fantastically. So appreciate you. So the first thing I'll say is we built our systematic KISS portfolio construction process to help our clients retire on time and comfortably, and help myself retire on time and comfortably as well, because I use KISS to manage my entire liquid net worth as well. The retire on time part, obviously, is the compounding portion of the program, which helps clients maximize upside capture in bull markets and stocks, gold, and Bitcoin. But the comfortably part, obviously, is part of the compounding. But most importantly, I would think, in my perspective, is for the folks who are at, near, or in retirement, the comfortably part matters in terms of the retire on time and comfortably. And what we mean by that is you want to make sure that you have a comfortable retirement. You don't just want to get to retirement. You want to make sure that you have enough wealth, not only when your retirement begins, but as you start to withdraw funds to support your lifestyle throughout retirement. And that's the comfortable part. And that's where the risk management overlays kick in terms of KISS, in terms of guiding up and guiding down the exposure to the equity, gold, and Bitcoin markets throughout. In terms of just taking it to some of the backtest data that we have produced. So what you're looking at here on the screen is an out of sample backtest that begins in January of 2018. And what we find that in terms of this KISS process, which again includes our dynamic position sizing and volatility targeting components to guide up and guide down the exposures to the stock, Bitcoin, and gold markets, those volatility components essentially wipe out half of the overall amount of risk you would face as an investor just being allocated to a static portfolio of 60% stocks, 30% gold, or 10% Bitcoin. KISS allocates to those assets, with the maximum exposure of 60, 30, 10, but it can also dial down exposures all the way to zero based on, again, those risk management overlays. If you look at the max drawdown of our KISS strategy, it's only 12%, whereas the max drawdown of just a naked long buy and hold 60, 30, 10 stocks, gold, Bitcoin portfolio, the max drawdown is more than double at minus 25%. And most importantly, the max drawdown of this KISS portfolio, of our KISS strategy in the context of this rolling out a sample back test, which begins in January of 2018, there's only one double-digit drawdown in this entire sample. Whereas if you ran that same 60, 30, 10 naked long stocks, gold, Bitcoin strategy without our risk management overlays, you would have crashed. Your overall portfolio, your entire retirement account would have crashed 3 times since January of 2018. Would have declined 21% in Q4 18, would have declined 24% in COVID, and would have declined 25% in 2022. And we may very well be on the precipice of another crash in 60, 30, 10 stocks, gold, Bitcoin here in 2025. But guess what? You're not going to crash with KISS. And so that is the whole point of why we infuse our volatility targeting and dynamic position sizing elements into the strategy, because it ultimately chops off the left tail of the distribution, so that if you're someone who's in retirement and already withdrawing your account down, you don't have to worry about, completely reshifting your allocation as the textbooks would have you do to a bunch of treasury bonds, which may very well be underpriced by 100, 150 basis points in the long end of the curve, but that's a separate discussion. So I just want investors to be aware that, again, we built our KISS to help people all across the investment spectrum retire on time and comfortably. And those risk management overlays are especially designed to help people who work their entire life to build whatever wealth that they have and don't want to lose it, 20 to 30% of it every 2 or 3 years, as a function of market turmoil. So we're grateful for that, grateful for our clients, and grateful for the question. We'll wrap it up here. Everyone have a wonderful day. Enjoy Liberation Day and then everything that ensues after. Darius here presenting our Macro Minute for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Have a great day. Cheers.